Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ottawa West-Nepean. I am so pleased to be here today with our Premier Doug Ford. Great to have you here. You know, shortly after our storm that we had here in Ottawa the other day, I got a phone call from the Premier, and he called me and he said, "Jeremy, we're going to make sure we get you the help we need. We got folks coming in from Toronto Hydro, we got folks coming in from other provinces." And that was very reassuring and made sure that we knew that we were going to have the help we needed here in Ottawa. And I've been going around my riding, blazing a trail, talking to people, and I've seen those folks. We've seen folks from Nova Scotia Hydro in our communities getting their power back on. So it's been very good to have had that help. You know, we're here to talk about our vision for Ontario. And over the past 4 years, since we got elected as a PC government here in Ontario, our government has consistently gotten the job done for Ottawa. You know, when I first ran, it was partly because I was very frustrated that we didn't have a government in Ontario that was delivering results for our community here in Ottawa. The government seemed to talk about projects for years and years and years, but we didn't see action. And then, when Premier Ford took office 4 years ago, our team got to work, and our record has been something we can be very proud of. An expansion to the Queensway Carleton Hospital to add more hospital capacity right here in this riding. A brand new building for CHEO that's going to help kids with special needs, mental health challenges, and disabilities. Our brand new Civic Hospital, which is one of the largest infrastructure investments in Ottawa, is going to transform the way that healthcare is delivered. And of course, many, many more, including what we're here to talk about today, which is helping to reduce congestion here in our nation's capital. We're, of course, right behind us have the Highway 417, and right after getting elected, we got the funding and got the job done to expand the 417 from Maitland to Island Park, and now we're here to deliver some more good news about continued expansions to make that commute easier for our workers and make sure that we're continuing to grow and prosper as a city. It's, again, an immense pleasure to be here today with Premier Doug Ford. Premier, I'm so proud to be running as part of your team. We're delighted to welcome you here to Ottawa, and we're going to keep making sure that we're getting it done for the people of Ottawa in the 4 years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Premier Doug Ford.
Thanks, Jeremy. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. What an incredible MPP representing your region in Ottawa. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here in Ottawa. Before we begin today, I want to thank the women and men who have been working around the clock restoring power to impacted communities, including here in Ottawa. And I want to thank the many families for your patience as this work continues. Since the storm, I've been in close contact with utility providers and mayors and have offered our full support. We've provided whatever resources are needed, including dozens of workers on the ground here in Ottawa, from Minister of Natural Resources, firefighters, and across the entire province and country in the U.S. Friends, we're just a few short days away from Election Day, and over the past few weeks, I've heard it time and time again. People are feeling good about the future of our province. Like me, they know that Ontario's best days are ahead. But it's up to each of us to roll up our sleeves and get it done. That means rebuilding Ontario's economy with better jobs and bigger paychecks, so our kids and grandkids can build their future here in Ottawa. It means keeping costs down and putting more money back in your pockets by eliminating the license plate stickers and cutting the gas tax. It means working for workers by getting more women and men into the skilled trades and manufacturing jobs. It means keeping our province and our economy open today and in the future. And it means saying yes to building highways and key infrastructure. Today, I'm here to announce that a re-elected PC government will expand Highway 417 right behind me. We're going to build 4 lanes in each direction between Highway 416 and Maitland Avenue. This highway is so important, and friends, it's never been more important to get building in Ottawa. Over the next 30 years, 75% of Eastern Ontario's population growth will happen right here in Ottawa. As any Ottawa driver knows, the roads and highways here are already at capacity. People are stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic that is only going to get worse if we don't build. This isn't just about families and workers trying to get home from work. Highway 417 connects the Ottawa region to the 401. It serves as a key gateway for the region's manufacturing and agricultural sectors. Expanding this highway is a key driver for Ottawa's economic growth. And we aren't stopping there. A re-elected BC government will also rebuild 5 bridges on Highway 417 and widen Highway 17 from Arnprior to Renfrew to 4 lanes. These important infrastructure projects are absolutely essential. But Stephen Del Duca can't help but say no. Just a few short days ago, he admitted he wants another study after study. His candidate in Ottawa Centre went one step further. She admitted that the Liberal plan is to cancel this project. They're so out of touch with the concerns of everyday families, they even want to revisit highway usage. That's their own words, revisit highway usage. They've made it clear they want to cancel highways, they want to toll highways, but the only thing they won't do is build highways. When it comes to building roads and highways and transit, the Leduca Wynne Liberals find every reason to say no. They neglected Ontario's infrastructure. They watched as our roads and highways crumble as gridlock grew. All you need to know about Stephen Del Duca is one stat. The list of highways he wants to cancel is longer than the list of highways he wants to build. And as for Andrea Horwath and the NDP, they're the party of no. No to every new idea, no to progress, no to building. Andrea Horwath would rather protest a highway than build one. We can't allow the Liberals to take us back, and we can't allow the NDP to hold us back. This is a choice Ontario faces on June the 2nd. It's a very clear choice. If you want more excuses, if you want more studies and more empty talk, well, you've got a lot of options in this election. But if you want to get it done, you have one choice, the Ontario PCs. We're the only party saying yes. We're the only party that will get it done. Friends, we have the team, we have the vision, we have the plan, and now we have the momentum. So on June the 2nd, everybody, let's do it, let's get it done. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario.
Plenty of questions here. One question, one follow-up. We'll try to get to everyone we can, but we're running out of time, so begin.
Good morning, Mia Rapson from the Canadian Press. As you know, this region, there's some people that still don't have power after 8 days. The power went out across Eastern Ontario, much of Ottawa. This is the second time in 3.5 years that Ottawa has seen a major power outage. What's your government planning to do to make power infrastructure more resilient to these climate change storms?
Really good question. We're pouring money into infrastructure, $158 billion. That's a record anywhere in Canada. We're going to continue making sure that we have the strength within the utility companies, be it Hydro One or Hydro Ottawa, right across the region. We have a strong plan for our energy in the future, right down to building SMR, small modular reactors, which we're leading the world in that. We're getting orders from all over the world, and we're going to make sure that we have enough energy for the 2.5 million people and companies that are coming here over the next decade.
And also, a couple of years ago, the federal government approved your plan for emissions reductions from big industry, but they're revisiting that plan. They're suggesting Ontario's isn't enough. Are you planning to go further with the emissions from big industry to meet the new stringency that Ottawa's promising?
Yeah, thank you for that question again. Really good question, by the way. So, you know, folks, what we're doing, we're really focusing on many areas, but 2 in particular. I'll give 2 examples. Sault Ste. Marie up in Algoma and Dofasco and Hamilton, they were using coal-fired furnaces. We're changing it over to electric arc furnaces. That's like taking 1 million cars off the road. We're pouring billions of dollars with the partnership of the federal government, which I want to thank their partnership, and the municipalities about getting electric vehicles going, the cars of the future. And you know, plays a critical role is the tech sector right here in in the Ottawa region and Canada. They're playing a big role in that. And we're manufacturing the batteries down in Windsor and also reinvesting along with the auto sector that fled this province under the previous administration, investing $14 billion from the auto sector alone. That's creating tens of thousands of jobs, not to mention all the spin-off jobs. So we're going to make sure in the very near future, more electric cars are coming off all 5 assembly lines right here in Ontario. Thank you.
Kenneth Jackson from APTN. Mr. Ford, APTN and Global News exposed alarming conditions inside Ontario's child welfare system over the weekend. Kids repeatedly physically restrained and living in deplorable conditions. How is this acceptable? And what are you doing about it?
You know something, good question. It's very, very disturbing, first of all, and thank you for that question. In 2020, we knew we had a broken system. We put in a plan that's totally restructuring it. We're turning it inside and out, and there's still a lot of work to be done. And I'll be first to admit, we need to do better. We need to have continuous improvement because the stories that I've heard, they're very, very disturbing. It can't go on, and we're going to make sure, myself personally, I'm going to be on this right as we have been, but right after the election, that's going to be one of my key focuses because these are children. They don't deserve some of the treatment. And don't get me wrong, you can't paint a broad brush across everyone because there's a lot of agencies out there and a lot of foster parents that are doing a good job, but there's some disturbing stories that we'll get down to the bottom of it. And as I said, in 2020, we're restructuring that whole system.
Yeah, the follow-up is one of the key issues experts say is that Ontario allows for for-profit operators to make money off these kids in care, profit over kids. Will you end for-profit care for these vulnerable children?
Well, what we're seeing, I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's about 300 agencies. It's pretty well split down the middle. And I can tell you one thing, we're restructuring it. I'm going to make sure we're on this. We're going to make sure we have more inspections going on because as far as I'm concerned, it's unacceptable. We inherited a mess. We restructured it, and it doesn't happen overnight, but we're moving as quickly as we can. But thank you for that question. I'm going to jump all over that one.
Hi, it's Joanne Canello from CBC News. Hi, Mr. Ford. You know, when the convoys happened here in February, you got a lot of criticism for not coming. You've only been here once since then. Now, during this campaign, Ottawa is the second largest city in this province. You were here for the first and only time just 3 days before Election Day. Mr. Ford, where have you been?
Well, let me tell you what we've done for Ottawa. Every single day, as in touch with Hydro One, or Ontario, Hydro One, and on top of that, with the hydro providers across the province, including Hydro Ottawa. We put resources through ministries. We brought ministries involved, MNRF. We brought firefighters, reached out to other provinces. They brought their utility workers, and I want to thank the utility workers for working around the clock. I want to thank the folks from all other provinces, including the U.S. states that came up here. Right now, I understand about 99% are up and running. There was 800 poles down as we saw all the new poles going up, and 4 transmission towers. But make no mistake, and I just want to clarify one thing. I will always have the people's backs in Ottawa, no matter if it's rebuilding and adding lanes to the 417 or investing into the second largest infrastructure plan for hospitals, $9 billion for Ottawa General Hospital. Make no mistake about it, I will always have your backs. I'll always invest in Ottawa.
So for my follow-up on the same subject, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great workers here in Ottawa helping to fix things, a lot of volunteers. I know you're visiting some firefighters after this. They're fantastic, but the people want to hear from you. Why are you not visiting some victims after today instead of those folks?
Again, I was on the phone every single day making sure we got the resources here. I'm not here to do a photo op like maybe other politicians were. I was boots on the ground, making sure we had the resources in here, and I'm going to continue to make sure. I was calling companies here, talking to all the representatives, all the MPPs, but the CEO of Hydro One and Hydro Ottawa, they were hearing from me every single day, along with the mayor and other local officials. But again, I want to thank the utility workers from the United States, all across Canada, and people that we pulled in from all over Ontario to focus on getting the power up and going in Ottawa.
Hi, Lila for ONFR Plus TFO. You are going to Orleans later today. You know, there's a lot of Franco-Ontarian in there. What are you going to do for Franco-Ontarian, especially in this community, and they were affected by the storm as well?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I'll just give you a couple examples. We're the only government that put 2 French universities moving forward, and we're the only government that has a strong Francophone economic plan. And I have to, I have to give Caroline Mulroney all the credit in the world. She's done an incredible job for Francophone Ontarians. We have over 600,000 Francophone Ontarians living here. We have 1 million people that speak French here. They play such an important role in our culture, in our economy, and I'll always support them and always have their backs. And we have a strong Francophone economic plan.
Hi, Mr. Ford. John Willing with the Ottawa Citizen. Your government called an inquiry into the Stage 1 of the LRT system here in Ottawa. How will the results inform how your government would fund projects in the City of Ottawa going forward, not just LRT projects, but all kinds of infrastructure projects?
Yeah, thanks for that, John. Well, we were in there financially for Stage 1. We're in there for Stage 2. Were we happy? No. That's why we called the inquiry. We want to make sure that any problems that happened in the past aren't going to happen in Stage 3 or Phase 3. But I can assure the people of Ottawa, we're all in for Phase 3 as well. But I don't want to, I don't want to see the same problems and the same concerns, because it was disturbing what was happening in the other phases there.
A lot has been discussed in the city, Mr. Ford, about one of your MPPs, Lisa MacLeod, taking about $40,000 from the Riding Association as an allowance. How do you feel about that and other MPPs who have been doing the same thing?
Yeah, well, when I found out about anything like that, I was frustrated, to be frank with you, but it was all by the law. It was all audited. It went to Elections Ontario. But I think all 3 parties or 4 parties need to get together and have a chat about it after this election. I want to put an end to it.
Hello, Remy Otier, Radio Canada. You are here today to pledge to build the bigger roads in the area. However, we know that with induced demands, building bigger roads actually makes traffic worse. Why is that? Why are you making that promise, and how do you think it will help people when we know with induced demand it's not working?
Well, something I'll respectfully disagree. You have 2 options. You either get stuck in traffic, and there's 2.5 million more people coming into Ontario. And again, the majority of the people that are going to land here in the eastern region, Ottawa, they're all coming to Ottawa. And rather than create pollution, backlog of traffic, so you just have to ask the people here in Ottawa about the backlog and the traffic jams. You can do both. Some people say all you have to do is build transit. Well, I'll tell you, we do both. We're building transit. We put a couple $2 billion into the transit system. We're going to be there for Phase 3 to have the goods from the manufacturing, agriculture sectors not stuck in this traffic jam on rush hour traffic that's connecting to the 401. So we're going to make sure that we build the infrastructure needed to get the vehicles, the trucks on transit as well.
On Thursday, you were supposed to come here, but you decided to postpone to today because you wanted to let the teams work on the storm and getting things back to normal. However, you went to Uxbridge. How is that different coming here rather than going to Uxbridge just after the storm?
Well, I ran up the street. I had a call from the mayor. There wasn't supposed to be any media there. I guess someone leaked it out. I wanted to go there and take a quick look and came right back. But let me tell you again what we're doing here in Ottawa. I was on the phone every single day, all day, making sure that we brought the resources in from around the country, to make sure we brought the resources in from all across Ontario. And again, I want to thank all the utility workers for skipping their long weekend, coming out here and working hard. And that's what Team Ontario is all about. We all pitched in, and our friends down in the U.S. as well. We had a big job to do, and 99% of the power is on, but I was in constant communications with the CEO of Hydro One and Hydro Ottawa, along with even Toronto Hydro. I was asking them, let's get the women and men in the trucks and get them out here. So we were onto it. But thank you for that question.
Hi, Blair Crawford from the Ottawa Citizen. You talked about the autism program earlier, and the Ontario Autism Program, the new program, has about 700 families have been admitted to it, but there's a wait list of 53,000, I believe. And why is it taking so long to get those people service, and what are you doing about it?
Yeah, so before I pass it to Jeremy, because he's a PA, he understands it more than I do. But when we took office, I'll never forget, they said basically there's no money left in the autism file, and I was only there for about a month. Right away, I said we need to double it. We increased it to $600 million, and we're going to constantly support the people with kids. And you know what else I want to focus on is adults with autism, because as their parents have taken care of them, as they've grown up, and after they get past the age of 18, you know, I've heard it more and more from parents as their children, as they grow into adults, have autism, and they're concerned who's going to take care of them. We're going to really focus on that as well. But Jeremy's the expert on this, and I'm going to pass it over to you, Jeremy.
Well, thank you for the question, and you know, this is such an important question because when I ran for office 4 years ago, we had a broken autism program here in Ontario. The program, as the Premier already said, was underfunded, it wasn't serving enough children, and we needed to make sure we could get it back on a better track. And so I worked tirelessly alongside our colleagues in government and with the support of Premier Ford to design a program that was brought to us by the community for the community. We doubled the budget from $300 million to $600 million, the most spent on autism services ever in Ontario's history. And now we are starting to roll that program out. Over the next couple of months, we'll see 8,000 children move into this new program, which is going to be a world-class program that will provide the help that these kids need.
Hi, Premier. Chris Curries from City News.
Hi,
in the wake of the storm, some ideas have been floated around about providing mandatory generators for gas stations and grocery stores, maybe burying hydro wires in the face of this extreme weather events that are happening. Is it something the PC party would be looking to provide funding for municipalities to do things like that?
Well, I'll always be open to it. Really, the responsibility of these big retailers, generators, and I know critical infrastructure at, be it hospitals, they have them. So, you know, we have no problem working with small businesses, but I truly think the big retailers, it's their responsibility to have backup generators for areas of refrigeration or freezer areas.
And exclusionary zoning was one of the recommendations of your provincial housing affordability task force, but it wasn't in your government's most recent housing action plan. So why should Ontarians believe you're serious about tackling the housing shortage if it's not in your plan?
Well, we have a plan of building 1.5 million homes over the next 10 years. You know, we're a government that gets things done. Other governments talk about it. It's a very simple theory. It's supply and demand. And we're going to make sure that we flood the market right across the province with housing, proper housing. I call it attainable housing. We always, you know, we'll always build affordable housing, but people want to own their own home. And we're going to look at attainable housing, working with families in certain income brackets that they're going to have the support of the government. And we're going to continue building non-stop. We want to streamline the system. We had meetings with all the mayors across the province. We have to standardize the system. You know, going for a permit in Ottawa has to be the same as going for a permit in Toronto or down in Windsor or anywhere else. Standardization is another area that we have to focus on. And another big area is cutting the red tape and all these regulations that just do not make sense. We want to work hand in hand, which we have with the 444 municipalities, and we're going to build houses the likes of which this province has never seen before. Okay, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you.